technology, which I'm not using. So yes, the good thing about whenever you write a book, you always save the title for the end because you can never really think of what you want to call it. But sometimes the title comes sort of right away, and the advantage of this title is I think as soon as you hear the title, you know exactly, and all of us who've worked with technology know exactly what this is going to be about. And it is about, do you want to have the system that is incredibly gorgeous, runs unbelievably perfectly under exactly the right conditions when those conditions happen to occur, and looks like a Formula One race? Or do you want a nice everyday machine that runs kind of easily and with no trouble, and when it rains and when it's sunny and you don't have to change the tires 37 times a week and the oil every day? My answer is the latter. And unfortunately, though, I think it's true that this system that we have, which is like the fanciest state-of-the-art system that the world has ever seen, makes the screen is about from this place to that place. Sonia over there knows exactly all the details. I don't keep track of all the technical details of it. But it's an amazing system when we use it. The problem is that we can't use it very often. And we can't use it very often because many things have to be in place for it to be used to the best of its advantage. It's extremely expensive to run. It's extremely expensive to maintain. Does that sound like your Ferrari in the garage? Yes, it sounds exactly like your Ferrari in the garage. And in the end, we don't use it. Or we don't use it. If I took all the money that was invested in that system, which was a lot, on our campus and on the American University in Afghanistan's campus, which is the partner institution with whom we have worked on sharing courses. If someone said to me, would you rather have had all of that money and used it to buy iPads for your students so you could do individual video conferencing with them when you were having faculty teach, I can assure you what the answer to that question would be. I would throw this system out the window well, I can't possibly lift it up, so I couldn't throw it out the window, but I would definitely not have invested the money in this system. What's more, it's going to get even worse because as technology moves forward, that system, no one else will put that system in. There'll be the next generation, whatever you guys want to put in Armenia or the one beyond that. And this one will look even more like a Brontosaurus lumbering around my campus, taking up an enormous amount of space and not really being used that much. Now, next fall, I'm going to teach a course called Nationalism, which has never been taught in my university before. And my travel schedule as a president of a university is fairly severe, shall we say. And I'm going to teach I'm going to experiment with every single lightweight, easy-to-use platform for video teaching that I can possibly think of. I'll, stand in an airport lounge and Skype my students, or I will do, and I think when we talk about, what do presidents and provosts think about video conferencing, as a president and provost, essentially, I would say we don't think at all about it, or we probably, until we actually have to do it ourselves, until we are the people who say, okay, I'm the one who's got to go try to teach this damn course this way, what do I want to do? Right? That's when we really start to think about it. So I thought about this. I was the dean of a graduate school before I became president of American University of Central Asia, and we had two campuses in the same city, but 15 miles apart. And so we were constantly trying to figure out how we could video conference the courses. And we kept constantly coming up against the fact that the students would rather get on the bus and come to the other campus and be with their other student colleagues. And it wasn't really a question of technology, and it wasn't really a question of the faculty not being comfortable. It was just that when they had the choice, they chose not to use it. I think it seems to work very well. I've seen versions of it working very well when people know each other. I can imagine all sorts of ways I'm going to use it. So, for example, if I'm not in town, I love the idea of having a colleague call in the lecture. I'm also going to tape half the lectures for the course in advance, so the students, it's not that if they miss the lecture, there will be no lecture. They'll just go and get it, and then I can talk to them in groups of 2 or 3 on video. That to me is a much better system than putting, 15 of them in a room one place, 15 in a room in another place. I don't think the future of our education is 15 people or 20 people or 60 people sitting in a room and looking at a couple of screens. I think that is a completely ended, over, done with paradigm, and it's not interesting to me. So I think we don't need these incredibly expensive, built-in, sort of standing, unable to move systems that look great when they run. I think we need a bunch of Toyotas. Thanks.